Back live downtown Baton Rouge. Nathaniel Tannehill, the GM of Renaissance Hotel here in BR, joining us. And Chuck, he brought food. He brought wine.
He brought
a positive attitude.
Yeah, this is great. I love this guy.
I'm excited.
Yeah, life is good. Thanks for having us this afternoon. Glad to be here. Like I mentioned earlier, you're not supposed to show up at a party without food, so I wanted to bring some food of a local flair. Renaissance is all about the local flair and partnering with other local places. So we get our pork from Iverstein's. That's some of your
look at that there, Chuck.
Sweet and spicy rub. We have some mac and cheese that has some Iverstein's breakfast sausage in it to make a little mac fritters. So, a little comfort food for the times we're living in right now.
The mac fritters are great, too. So Renaissance Hotel here in Baton Rouge over on Bluebonnet. How you guys been holding up, man? Been an interesting last 6 months, huh?
It's been a very interesting ride. I mean, as everybody knows, the end of March, things kind of came to a halt. April was pretty much non-existent. I think occupancy in the market was in the 10-12% range, which is just unheard of.
Yeah.
But each month has gotten better. Every month, April was bad. I mean, there's no kidding about that. May got a little better. June's gotten a little better. And the good news is we're open. We are open for business. We're fortunate to have local owners who are, they're proud of the product we have. They're proud of the community we live in. So we've stayed open the whole time. The restaurant, the hotel, food and beverage, meeting spaces. So it's a good thing. Business is getting better every day.
So Renaissance has some great event spaces, some great food and beverage outlets. What are you guys able to do right now during the restrictions that the governor has out there with limiting especially indoor crowd sizes and 50% capacity? What's that mean for a hotel?
Yeah, it's a great question. We get it every day. So right now we're restricted to about 50 people if it's a social event.
Okay.
However, if it's a business event where you're going to be seated, having continuing education or some sort of training, it's based off of your square footage and being able to socially distance. So we can hold events for about 100 people or so.
Okay.
So it's a misconception that part's kind of shut down because of all these orders. But as long as we can do it safely, we're able to have those events at the different thresholds. Yeah,
that social distancing is such an important part of this. And I imagine the safety protocols that you guys have had to put in, hand sanitizers and face masks on all employees in public spaces and all those things has been interesting to ride this roller coaster through.
It has been very interesting. I mean, we're fortunate that we're a Marriott branded property, and Marriott's had a strong commitment to clean for the last 90 years. However, you have to revisit it and down to the details of, hey, we have this cleaning chemical, now we're going to go to hospital grade. We're looking at a technology, pure air, that you can spray surfaces and viruses can't live on them. It kills them instantly for up to 90 days. We have hand sanitizing stations and barriers at the front desk and gloves and masks and all the things you kind of are becoming the new norm.
Yep.
And as crazy as all that is we're having these meetings, our customers are coming in and saying, this is way better than we expected, like it's kind of going and it's working like it's supposed to. So it's been neat to see it progress over the last few months.
Now, travel and tourism, a big part of the hotel industry, obviously just hospitality as a whole. Here in Baton Rouge, I know a lot of our hotel stays are people coming to town for some reason, whether that's business, pleasure, sports, things like that. What are you guys seeing right now? We won't talk about LSU football season and things like that just yet. But just as far as how much travel are you getting and what's your occupancy now? And are you getting people that are doing more of like the staycation model just to get out of the house? What's filling up your hotel?
I think you nailed it. We've shifted over the last few months from a very business traveler hotel to a more travel leisure. Staycations are big. It's local, supporting locals, things like that. However, the business is starting to come back up. I don't think people want to be cooped up forever. And when, we're beginning to prove to them that it's safe to come stay with us again with all these protocols. We're seeing more and more of that business traveler coming back every day as well.
Nathaniel Tannehill joining us here on the Jay Ducote Show. You got some love out there on the Facebook Live. Lisa chiming in. We got Katie chiming in from Austin, Texas. Lori, Beverly.
Awesome.
They're all coming at you. I like it.
It's not my normal thing. So my small fan club appears to be on Facebook this afternoon, I guess.
Well, good. I'm glad. Hey, everybody, if this is your first time watching the Jay Ducote Show on Facebook Live or listening on our airwaves on Talk 107.3 FM in Baton Rouge, we appreciate you being on board here. Nathaniel Tannehill, the general manager of the Renaissance Hotel in Baton Rouge. How long have you been there? Have you been there since the property got renovated?
I've been there for about 2 years.
Okay.
At the December of 2018 is when I started, so I'm new there to the management team, but loving every minute of it, even through the crazy times we've had the last 6
Very
months.
cool. Walk us back through your career in hospitality real quick. How did you get into hotels, and what were you doing before the Renaissance in Baton Rouge?
So I'm a casino guy by trade. I started out at casinos in
Right
Shreveport,
on.
Bossier at Horseshoe.
Right, yeah, okay.
Moved down to New Orleans.
You ever go eat at Lucky Palace over there?
Oh my God, is it so good?
I love it.
Like
Quan Lim's my hero.
If you didn't know
best.
that it had the best food in there, you would never walk in there, but you get in there and
Never.
it's amazing.
I love telling people that are going to the Shreveport area, you have to go eat at Lucky Palace. And then I don't tell them that it's like this little weird spot in the back of a seedy motel.
And you're like, what?
Then, of course, their reaction is, what did you get me into? And then they eat the food, and they're just like, oh, okay.
The food and wine,
I got it.
both amazing.
Yeah. Eat off the chef's specialty menu.
Yes.
That's all you really need to know. Get whatever you want, but go to Lucky Palace in Bossier City. If Quan Lim is there, ask for the owner, Quan Lim. Tell him Jay Ducote sent you. You're going to get at least a good smile and a hug and handshake if COVID allows it. Get the duck and scallion pancakes, and then order off the chef's specialty menu, which is the more Chinese menu and Quan's actual menu. If you go, like, you can also get sesame chicken and things like that, the Americanized Chinese stuff. If you're ordering off of that page, flip the page and go to the next page and go to the chef's specialty menu and just order anything off that menu. It doesn't matter. Okay, so the casinos.
Yep. So moved to New Orleans, helped reopen Harris New Orleans after Katrina, and then came to Baton Rouge in January of 13, and worked out of LaBerge, Baton Rouge.
Yep.
Then ended up, it's time to move on and do different things.
Yeah.
And hotel opportunities presented, local ownership. It's a great opportunity to really drive a vision and have fun.
Yeah.
So.
What is it about that part of the hospitality industry that really has drawn you in? I mean, hotels are such interesting spaces. People are coming and going all the time. It's a very transient customer base. A lot of times you can have, your people, your employees, you'd be there for a long time. And if you have a hotel that's running properly, you can kind of, you can. There's a lot of really cool things that you could do, and everybody out there that travels knows that you can walk into a hotel and realize pretty quickly if it's managed properly or not, and if the staff there cares.
Yeah, absolutely. Being proud of where you work and what you do is a huge part of it. I think the best part about what we do is we get to make people happy. We get to entertain people. We get to bring their dreams to life, their visions to life. Whether it's a staycation to get away from the kids during COVID, or whether it's an anniversary or birthday or a wedding or a business Christmas party. Those are all things that we get that are happy times. We get to celebrate all the good things with people. It's a really cool part of our job.
Nathaniel Tannehill, GM of the Renaissance Hotel, joining us here on the Jay Ducote Show. We're going to knock out a quick break. When we come back, I'm going to ask Nathaniel about this fall and LSU football season. I know hotels in Baton Rouge need, I guess is probably the right way to say it, fans in the stadium. Maybe that's not going to happen even if there is LSU football this season. We'll ask him what they're doing to prepare for this fall and what might be coming our way between now and the holidays. And then we'll also talk about some of this delicious wine that Nathaniel brought as well, because we're drinking a beautiful Pinot Noir here, and they've got some great wines over at the Renaissance. That's all coming up. Happy to have everybody back with us here on the new flavor of talk. Nathaniel Tannehill from the Renaissance Hotel, general manager of the Renaissance Hotel, and according to our Facebook Live, also the membership chairman for the Baton Rouge Lodging Association.
That is true.
How about that?
Proud member of the Baton Rouge Lodging Association. We have to stick together year round, and it's a great group of hoteliers out there.
Absolutely, and we actually have Hilton Baton Rouge watching and looking for our bag of food and wine, says Jamie. I like it. I like it. We can. Well, I don't. We can figure something out. That's for sure. The Hilton downtown is a great property as well. We had not too long ago, we had Larry Tingle on, who's the food and beverage director from y'all's sister property, the Watermark, and the Gregory, the great restaurant over there. Tallulah is the restaurant that you have at the Renaissance Hotel. And we were talking about some of the food items that you brought earlier, Nathaniel. You have that Iverstein pork chop that has the JD spicy and sweet barbecue rub on it. That's something that y'all are actually playing with and looking into seeing if you can actually put it on the menu?
Yeah, so during the slow period, you have to You can either sit back and pout, or you can say, okay, let's take advantage of a slow opportunity to do all the things that we wanted to do that we couldn't because we were slammed all the time. One of them I mentioned off there was the renovation of the hotel rooms, where we ripped up the carpet, put in new hardwood floors, which has been amazing, keeps them clean. But the other thing is the menu. When you're rocking and rolling with banquets and meetings and dinners every night, it's hard to change and get creative. So we've taken the time to say, okay, we're a little slower now. We want to be local. We want to use local products. We want to source as much as we can locally. What can we do different to really redo this whole menu? And one of the things that Chef Chris and Chef Alvin are working on is this pork chop that's with, obviously it's a local bit off of Perkins Road, local seasoning. We also partner with 225 Spice. We're looking at Maggie's Mushrooms. We're looking at Cubby Rise.
Man, Maggie's Mushrooms does some good stuff.
Like the best mushrooms around. And
amazing.
To believe they come from an hour from here is just, it's crazy. Down to the partnerships with the local breweries, the Rally Caps and that of the world, to really bring the local flair to life in food and beverage, which is what Renaissance is supposed to be about. So really, taking a slow situation, what could be a downtime, and making the best of it. So we're excited to bring some of these new things to life.
And over at Tallulah and the Renaissance Hotel, I've got some good wines over there as well. This is the Fog Dog Pinot Noir from the Sonoma Valley, Sonoma Coast. Love it.
It's really good.
Yeah, it is good. It's a really nice, easy drinking, smooth, fruity Pinot.
Mm-hmm.
Wednesday afternoon wine.
Might top myself off a little bit. Everybody enjoying their pre-5 o'clock drinks. 5 o'clock starts happy hour here on the Jay Ducote Show, but that doesn't mean we can't get started during the 4 o'clock hour.
We're pre-gaming, as they call it.
We're getting ready to tailgate, right? We're
thank
talking
you
about football.
Yeah, thank you guys for the transition into my football question here. I'm a huge tailgater. I learned how to cook throwing tailgate parties for LSU football. The idea of a fall without a football season or a football season without tailgating does not make my heart happy, that's for sure. And as we struggle through that, obviously there's a whole lot of businesses in Baton Rouge that kind of rely on that fall boost. The bars and restaurants around the campus area, especially the lots of other game day apparel businesses that will do 2/3 of their business in that final 1/3 of the year. Hotels in Baton Rouge obviously get a huge boost every fall from LSU home football game weekends, and then the fanfare that surrounds them. What are you guys doing at the Renaissance and the Wampold collection to prepare yourselves for whatever might happen this fall?
Yeah, I mean, LSU football is obviously king of all sports, right? It's our culture. It's who we are. It's what we live. We don't care that it's 100 degrees. We get to tailgate. We get to go to football games. And like as you mentioned, it's a huge driver of the economy. So you went from, are we going to have football season? Are we going to have 8 games? Now we're at 5 games. There's uncertainty. 5 games is good. 5 games without fans is not great, because the fans are who come and fill up the restaurants and who boost the local economy. So having football with fans and with tailgating would obviously be a huge jolt to the local economy and pump a bunch of money in there. But also for us as hoteliers, to go on top of that is all the other sports.
Yep.
So we have, in the fall, you have the basketball, men's and women's, you have soccer, you have tennis, you have cross country. LSU was scheduled to host the cross country SEC championships in October. All these things fill up hotels.
Yeah.
So, just the same as football does it, all these other fall sports, prop up the hotel industry as well.
Yeah. It's an interesting call on part of the conversation that we haven't necessarily had. Not that we need to have the whole conversation right now. Maybe we put it on our show sheet for hour 2 or even tomorrow. But talking about not just football, but all fall sports, because it does seem like what the Pac-12 and the Big Ten have done is cancel all fall sports. Mm-hmm. But cross country, man, you could probably have a cross country meet pretty safe. Good. Is there track and field that you could do? Could you play SEC women's soccer? With even if it's without fans over at the LSU soccer complex. I don't know. But obviously soccer's 11-on-11 with no helmets with face masks on them, and it is a contact sport. Maybe not nearly as much as line up across from each other and hit each other as football, but there's certainly human contact there. Interesting talking points for sure. Nathaniel Tannehill joining us here, the general manager of the Renaissance Hotel here in Baton Rouge. Anything else you wanted to share with us about what's going on at the Renaissance or what's coming up this fall, or as we look into the holidays?
We're excited to kind of get past this hump. Hopefully, there is hope. There is light at the end of the tunnel. We're staying focused. We're continuing to be flexible and to adapt as things are changing. On a personal level, I couldn't be more proud to work with this team who everybody knows the hospitality industry is resilient. We've done hurricanes, we've done floods. We figure out how to pivot quickly. But pivoting through this, there's a lot of people throughout the industry, and at our property in particular, that are pivoted and made huge changes to continue to remain open, to serve people safely, to be able to support the hundreds of people that work throughout our properties and let them support their families. So hats off to that team back at property who really drive it every day.
You mentioned that that your ownership took the time to work on some new menu items and things like that on the restaurant side, but y'all did a remodel of the hotel as well and stripped out some old carpet and you said put in hardwood floors.
Yeah, so it's it was an opportunity. We were planning on a renovation down the road anyway, but ownership is like, this is a perfect time. Things are slow. It makes sense, to go ahead and update the rooms. It makes sense from a cleanliness and sanitation standpoint to really let's get this stuff out and get it done. So as the travelers are starting to come back, which we're seeing now, they're coming back to a brand new experience of, what was already a cool hotel is getting even cooler.
As far as that sort of occupancy that you're looking at, what's normal for August, pre-football season, and then what are y'all experiencing this year?
Well, August is typically one of the slower months out of the year in
right.
this market. School's starting back, it's hot, everybody's trying to get situated. But once you get into football season in the fall, it really takes back off, and you're the 60, 70, 75% throughout the market, throughout the end of the year until you kind of tamper off a little bit at the end of the year as people begin to settle back down. What we're seeing, a lot of unknowns still, right? So we got a lot of football games on the books, but Texas is canceled, so you see those cancellations. And then you add Missouri, are people going to come? So you're seeing some pickup there. So there's just a ton of uncertainty with football right now.
It's crazy, man. I would love if everything happens with football season as they're saying it will right now. LSU is going to play at Vanderbilt for a second year in a row. I didn't get to make that Nashville trip last year. I want to make that Nashville trip this year, but I also don't know if they're even going to let fans in the stadium. So I can't. Doesn't really make sense for me to go book that trip yet, And what's the bar scene and restaurant scene and tickets to the game going to look like in Nashville if LSU can play Vanderbilt? It really might be, for the most part, TV only. I don't know. There is a lot of uncertainty, and when we know for sure, it's going to answer a lot of those questions. But when are we going to know for sure?
And I think everybody wants to get out and do it. They're waiting for somebody to say yes, you can.
Yeah.
And I think that's when you'll see things really start to pick up here from a hotel standpoint this fall.
That's exactly right. Nathaniel Tannehill, GM of the Renaissance Hotel. Thanks so much for coming in studio and chatting with us and bringing food and wine.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. Appreciate
You bet.
it.
Best of luck with everything. Go see Nathaniel over at the Renaissance Hotel. Dine at Tallulah and make yourselves at home. Try that. That Iverstein pork chop's not available like tonight, right?
It's not available.
Yeah,
it's not available tonight, but as soon as it is, we'll let you know.
All right, we'll pump it out on social media as soon as it can. Follow the Jay Ducote page on social media and Renaissance Baton Rouge as well. We're going to take a break. When we come back, it's happy hour on the Jay Ducote Show.